I think it's important to note, like, both anecdotally through my experience, but then also for the sport. Like, mostly we're talking about skiing and snowboarding here. And when we're thinking about, like, why are we wearing helmets, most of us are probably thinking concussion, number one. But then it's really important to understand those skull fracture, like, standards that we're trying to meet for a lot of reasons. Like, you know, so many of us, like, the real reason a helmet's going to save our lives is preventing a skull fracture, like if we hit a tree or something. But then, like, also, like, on a personal level, like, the biggest reason that I wear a helmet in the spring is because of the danger of rockfall. And that is a very real danger in ski mountaineering. And personally, I've had 2 severe head injuries and a number of other concussions along the way as well. And the first of those severe head injuries was a rockfall accident, where I just had the worst luck in the world and the best luck in the world on the same day, where across the span of an entire volcano on Mount Hood, the first sign, the first sound, and the first rock that we know that fell that day fell from a cliff about 40 feet above me while I was transitioning my skis. And I hit the deck, turtled over, because that's what I've been trained to do in my whole lifetime in backcountry skiing. And rock about the size of a microwave fell from probably about 40 feet above me, and it landed directly in the back of my head, on my neck, on the middle of my upper back, and then on my left arm. And I 100% would not be here today. I would not be alive if it were not for the fact that I was wearing a helmet. And the reason I was wearing a helmet was because of the danger of rockfall. So on the skull fracture level, like, the danger is very real when we're talking about skiing and snowboarding. And then on the concussion mitigation side, and when we're talking about rotational impacts, like, I also have personal experience there. And I think that this, probably, like, explains, like, how real these risks are for those of us who are out there. Is, like, the other severe head injury I had was kind of the reverse roll. I hit a rock. Ironically, I don't know if ironically is the right word, but I believe it was from the visual and balance deficits from the prior head injury, that I just had this, like, weird little mistake where I caught my tip and it hooked me into a rock wall. And that one, I really believe, I was wearing a MIPS helmet at the time, and I really believe that the rotational impact of that was mitigated to some degree by MIPS. And, like, when we're talking about these things, like, it's not like 100% it's gonna like stop everything. And, like, but my experience was that it was enough to mitigate that rotational force, and, again, probably mitigate a skull fracture. And, that one, maybe I could have survived, but I don't get into those ifs or whens. But I'm here today, and I'm a huge proponent of, these conversations, but also of the cultural shift that we've seen in skiing and snowboarding, where it's expected, it's cool, and it's very normal to be wearing a helmet. And big credit to manufacturers and the technology that we're bringing in to, hopefully keep more of us safe.